Most drivers hand over their hard-earned cash without realizing they're being overcharged. Mechanics aren't necessarily lying to you, but they're definitely not sharing everything they know. These repair secrets can save you serious money if you know what to look for. When your air conditioning starts blowing warm air, the temptation is to grab a can of refrigerant from the auto parts store and top it off. This seems like a quick fix, but there's a hidden problem most people miss. Every time refrigerant escapes, you're also losing oil. That oil keeps your compressor running smoothly. When you keep recharging without fixing the leak, you're slowly starving your compressor of lubrication. Eventually, it seizes up, and suddenly you're facing a $1,000 repair bill. The smarter move is catching the leak early. Add UV dye to your system and use a black light to spot where refrigerant is escaping. Many vehicles already have dye in the system from the factory. You can also use a refrigerant sniffer to detect tiny leaks. Fixing a $5 O-ring or a $100 condenser now saves your entire AC system later. Another trick is running your AC throughout the year, even during winter months. This keeps the seals lubricated and prevents them from drying out and cracking. Dealerships have a secret they'd prefer you didn't know. That expensive genuine part in the fancy box is often made by the exact same manufacturer that sells it elsewhere for half the price. The only difference is the label. That $120 Honda oxygen sensor is actually a $60 Denso part wearing a disguise. BMW coils are stamped with Bosch logos. Jaguar water pumps are literally Ford parts underneath a different brand name. The strategy is simple. Look up the original part number or check what brand is etched on your factory part. Then search for that brand directly through online forums or parts websites. You'll find the identical part without the dealer markup. We're talking about savings of 50 to 80% on everything from sensors to spark plugs. These aren't cheap knockoffs either. They're the exact parts your car came with originally, just packaged differently. Stick to known OEM suppliers like AES, Bosch, Denso, or Delphi, and you'll get factory quality at reasonable prices. Most people never consider their brake fluid until they're handed a massive repair bill. Brake fluid quietly absorbs moisture over time, acting like a sponge. That water becomes a silent destroyer inside your braking system. After just 2 to 3 years, contaminated fluid can corrode your ABS pump, seize your calipers, and rot brake lines from the inside. An ABS module alone costs around $1,200. All of this damage happens because people skip a simple, inexpensive flush. A proper brake fluid flush costs about $80 at a shop, or less than $20 if you handle it yourself. This service doesn't just prevent breakdowns, it actually improves how your brakes feel. Fresh fluid gives you a firmer pedal and better stopping power when you need it most. Think of it as an oil change specifically for your brakes. Skip it, and the damage accumulates slowly. Stay on top of it, and your car's most critical safety system remains strong for years. Coolant isn't just colored water floating around your engine. It's a chemical shield protecting your engine from destroying itself. Over time, that protective shield breaks down and transforms into a slow-moving acid bath. Old coolant can drop below pH 7 and start eating through metal components. That creates rust in your radiator, electrolysis in your heater core, and internal corrosion that damages your head gasket or cylinder head. When that happens, you're looking at repairs that might cost more than your car is worth. A gallon of fresh coolant costs around $20. That's nothing compared to the $1,500 bill for replacing a rotted heater core buried deep behind your dashboard. Smart owners flush their coolant every 3 to 4 years, not just at the factory recommended 100,000 miles. Just make sure you use the correct type of coolant for your vehicle. Mixing the wrong ones creates sludge or chemical breakdowns that wreck your system. Power steering fluid is like the forgotten oil in your car. People change their engine oil, maybe their transmission fluid, but steering fluid gets ignored until the rack fails and you're facing an $800 repair. Over time, that fluid gets dirty with tiny metal shavings from the pump and rack floating around, grinding away at seals and valves. Dirty fluid leads to leaks, jerky steering, or that annoying morning stiffness when your wheel feels locked up. The fix is incredibly simple. Every 50,000 miles or even once a year, you can refresh the fluid with a cheap turkey baster and a bottle of the correct power steering fluid. Suck out the old stuff, refill, drive around, and repeat. You don't need a full flush. Clean fluid keeps your pump quiet, your steering smooth, and your rack functioning properly for the long haul. Dealerships have a profitable habit they won't admit to. Most of the time, you don't need that entire $300 part replaced. You just need the small piece inside it that actually failed. Take suspension bushings as an example. Dealers love to sell you the whole control arm when only a $20 rubber bushing is worn out. If you find a good mechanic or do some research, you can press in a new one and keep driving. The same story applies to window regulators, seat tracks, and even alternators. There's a whole community of DIYers and professionals who fix the actual problem instead of replacing entire assemblies. A cracked plastic slider needs a new clip, not a new motor. A bad capacitor in your AC control module is a $1 part, not a $500 module. This is how old-school mechanics used to work, and it still works today. Sure, it takes more digging, but you save significant money and often get a stronger, longer-lasting upgrade. If your car's differential or transfer case fluid is still the original stuff from the factory, you're driving around with a ticking time bomb. Manufacturers love calling it lifetime fluid, but what they really mean is it lasts until the warranty expires. Over time, that gear oil breaks down, loses its protective additives, and collects metal shavings and moisture. The result is differential whine, sticky all-wheel drive clutches, and eventually total failure of components that cost over $1,000 to replace. Fresh fluid is cheap, and the job is straightforward. A simple drain and refill every 30 to 50,000 miles keeps those gears and clutch packs operating smoothly. People who skip this maintenance often face nasty surprises like burned transfer cases or leaking axle seals from acidic oil. Your car's wiring smells like food to rats. Modern wiring often uses soy-based insulation, and rodents find it irresistible. They crawl into your engine bay, nest in your HVAC ducts, and chew through sensor wires like it's a buffet. One nibble and your car might not start. Some victims get away with a $100 sensor fix. Others face a full wiring harness replacement, costing anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 or more. One Tesla owner shared that after rats destroyed his wiring, the dealer quoted over $7,000 in repairs. He installed an ultrasonic rodent repeller and started placing peppermint oil-soaked cotton balls under the hood. He hasn't had a single issue since, and that fix cost him under $25. Peppermint oil, garlic sprays, ultrasonic devices, and even capsaicin-infused electrical tape from Honda can stop rodents before they move in. Add mothballs, stainless steel mesh over air inlets, and a clean parking space, and you've built a fortress against these expensive pests. The dealership service desk is a money vacuum. Dealers often charge $150 to $200 per hour for labor. Meanwhile, a solid independent shop might do the exact same job for $100. That's half the price for identical work. Dealers usually push expensive branded parts with high markups. A smart independent mechanic will install the exact same part from the same manufacturer for a fraction of the cost, sometimes even letting you bring your own. Many independent shops are run by former dealer master technicians. They know the shortcuts, the common failures, and the honest fixes. Plus, there are no corporate quotas or pressure sales. You're not paying for quality at the dealer. You're paying for overhead, upsells, and a logo. If you live where winters mean salted roads, rust doesn't just annoy you, it kills your car. Longtime Rust Belt drivers swear by spraying their undercarriage with an oil-based rust proofer once a year. Products like fluid film or crown creep into seams, frame rails, brake lines, and body cavities. They coat the metal, block salt and moisture, and prevent corrosion from taking hold. Done yearly, this one step can add 3 to 5 extra years to your car's lifespan. That glowing check engine light isn't always a death sentence. One of the top reasons it turns on is a loose gas cap. A cap that's not clicked tight can trigger a warning that sends people straight to the dealer with their wallet open. Walk into an auto parts store and ask for a free scan. They'll give you a code, and you can pop that into an online search with your car model for instant insight. No diagnostic fee, no mystery. Better yet, for under $20, grab your own scanner or Bluetooth adapter. With a free app, your phone becomes a window into your car's systems. Ignoring the light is a bad move. A $10 spark plug problem can spiral into an $800 catalytic converter replacement. Scan early and act smart. If your owner's manual says the transmission fluid is lifetime, read that with heavy skepticism. What it really means is it lasts until the transmission dies. Most experts recommend changing your transmission fluid every 30 to 60,000 miles, especially for automatics and CVTs. Ignore that advice, and you're gambling with a $3,000 to $5,000 repair. Manufacturers do include fluid change procedures in their service manuals. They just don't advertise it because no maintenance required sounds appealing when you're trying to sell a car. The fluid breaks down from heat and use, period. Doing a $200 service every few years is like buying insurance for your gearbox.